Hey y'all, and welcome back to FloTrack's The Meetup, episode 19. We are back right here in Austin every single Tuesday. I'm so excited to be with y'all. My name is Demetria Carter, and joined with me today we have Johnny Pace. Welcome back. We had quite the European tour. Monaco, Workout Wednesday in Italy, and now London, and now we're back. Welcome.
It's great to be back. I missed Austin. Did you have a favorite stop?
Italy, by far.
Yeah. We had I feel like every night, we made the most of that. We stopped in Venice and, really took it in and appreciated for what it had to offer, know?
Did you have a favorite stop?
Monaco was like a bucket list meet for me. And the south of France is maybe one of the prettiest places in the world. And so I think for that, but they were all amazing, but I have to say Monaco probably.
No, Monaco is not a vacation for me. It's a little too rich for my liking, but it was definitely top tier. Nia, welcome to the meetup. You've been holding it down in Austin. How are you doing?
Man, holding it down, home ship, but I'm good. I hope you guys aren't too jet lagged and ready to yap with me.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get to yapping. You got to commentate on the Athletes Lounge for London for sure. Did you do Monaco?
No.
Okay.
It was London.
How was London?
London was London. I think it's always one of the best diamond leagues consistently. I think this year it definitely competes with Pre a bit because those couple world records a little hard to top, but London is always one of those diamond league meets, whether you're there in person or watching at home, that you can't wait for. Because at that point of the stop in the whole diamond league season, everybody is tip-top shape. Everyone is peaking. Everybody's ready to go. There are no more rust busters. There's no more taking the dust off or whatever. We're seeing good times, and that we did.
Yeah, I'm so excited to dive into London Diamond League, but we're going to go ahead and get into this track and field deep dive. We're going to go back a couple weeks because we weren't here last weekend, but we have to talk about the U18 record that went down. Mr. Quincy Wilson broke his own U18 record in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's go ahead and take a look at his race.
Should be an excellent race. Jim Mathis men's 400-meter invitational is underway, and it's a good start in lane number 5 for Quincy Wilson. The 17-year-old's already gone past Stephen Gardner on the stagger. Bryce Dedman moving well in lane 3, so it's Wilson and Dedman with Justin Robinson out in 8th. They're your best 3 positions so far. Looks like Gardner's finding it a bit here at the 200-meter mark. Can Wilson hold on after that torrid start?
It was this time of the year where Quincy Wilson really set the world ablaze. He's coming down a home stretch with Bryce Dedman. We'll see if he can hold him off.
Wilson and Dedman digging for the line. The 17-year-old Quincy Wilson holds Dedman off, and Quincy Wilson says the win in 44-14 unofficially.
Wow.
He breaks his own world U18 record.
Oh my God.
Yeah, wow. So 44:10, he's broken his own record 4 times. Like, this is the 4th time he's ran this fast.
Grown man times.
Grown man times in a grown man race, a pro race, gearing up for USA's. I was able to see his start. There's a social media clip where you can see his start. The Poe definitely blocks it in this clip, but like his get out, his ability to maintain composure, and then I think to beat out like grown men Olympians in the backstretch.
I think my takeaway from this is like you trust Coach Joe. Like the Quincy's progressing exactly the way they're planning. Like, if there was ever doubts in indoor, maybe he wasn't in peak shape. Well, I don't think that was the goal. Like clearly he's getting into form for USA's at the perfect time. Like it's really neat to see how he's been building over the year.
Yeah.
A part of that race that really stuck out to me, I think aside from his start, was probably the last 70 meters. The way I think it's so easy for people to fade away and die at that point in a race, but he kind of kept his composure and, more importantly, his poise. If you told me that this little kid was a Olympian, I would believe you just based on what I've seen. If I knew nothing about him, because usually it's not really normal or regular to see a 17-year-old kid say, I'm an Olympian, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a U18 world record holder. But if I knew nothing about track and field and just watched that race and saw the way he ran, I'd be like, yeah, I believe it. Because the poise, his composure, and that championship and elite pedigree that he has shown during that last 70 meters of the race, where that's the part where, again, a lot of people tend to fall apart. He showed that. And I think even at the conclusion of that race, Quincy Wilson maybe a year and a half ago would have been on the floor laid out. And he just
turned back around, hyping the crowd up.
Yeah.
That's why I saw. I didn't know he had the ring. Maybe I did know this, but I didn't know he had the rings tattooed on his arm.
Yes, I think that was
That's
recent.
Yeah.
I think that was recent.
So what's his path like to making the world team in Tokyo?
I think he has a high chance. I think we saw the 44-10. I think it's no doubt that he's fully capable. And I think the way that his season has lined up, I think earlier indoor, there's always people in the comments saying like, oh, he's burnt out because he got second. Baby, he's trying to make Tokyo. Like this little random indoor title is not what he's worried about right now. He's trying to get to Tokyo. And I think that the way his schedule has been set up, he's been running less. I know because Coach Joe has literally said he's running less. He's running strategically because they have bigger things in mind. And I think 44-10, we literally witnessed it right before USA. So I think he has the composure to your point. And I think Coach Joe has been setting him up for success to do what he does best, run. And he's having fun. Like he's literally just having fun. And I think that's dangerous. When you're having fun doing what you love, hey, yeah.
He has 43 in him, and I think if he runs 43 at USA's, he's gonna make that team in the Open Four.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him in the final. I do think that he'll break that record again.
Oh, it's coming
easily. Yeah. All right. Also at Murphy Classic, I'm so excited for this one. Miss Britton Wilson. Britton is my girl. She finished first, 50.54. She's had quite the year, I think. Not quite the year, but quite the professional circuit. So she, after NCAA's, attempted to do that double, and then following that, made it to Budapest, but then came out with an injury. And then after that, in 2024, she ran like 3 or 4 times in like March, April, still was battling an injury, but now she's back. And she's healthy and she's running good. And it's so nice to see her. Nia, what's going through your head? Because Britton's, I don't say Britton's back, but she's here.
Yeah, no, Britton is here. And she's also still young, which is nice. I think she's had very trying years after concluding at Arkansas. The stress fracture is a hard, nagging injury. It's not fun to have. It clearly has been like stifling her a bit. So to see her come out and win her it's her first 400 of the year, right?
Second. She ran a random one, not random, but there was like a sprint classic in Florida. She went 51:37, and then this is her
Was
second.
that at Star?
It was at Star.
Is that Star?
It was
okay.
at Star.
But yeah, 50 point. The timing is immaculate. It was 10 days ago or 11 days ago at this point. We got USA's in about a week and a half. She's got to feel good about that. Because at one point it was kind of where is Britton, because there's no way that someone who once upon a time had the collegiate record, still has the fastest 4x4 split ever ran by a collegiate woman with 48 point. There's no way you just don't hear about her again. So this is a nice reminder that Britton is here and just adding to the depth that Team USA has at the 400.
Yeah. I know I was going to wait to talk about this, but I'm going to bring it up now because I think it's so relevant. But Miss Sydney Mclaughlin-Lavroni, also, because Britton's a 400 hurdle girl too. Sydney's a 400 hurdle girl. As of like right now, she's only entered in the Open 4. Now, technically, she has until like tonight or like 12 a.m., like midnight tomorrow to enter something else. But she's only entered in that. And I think she's coming for that American record. Of course, we have your Brittons, you have your Sydneys. I think there's a lot of people racing. How are y'all feeling about it?
I'm excited. At first I was thinking, would she attempt the 4x4 hurdles double? But I think I'm more excited for her to see the levels that she can go towards in the 400 if she doesn't compete in the 400 meter hurdles, because again, reminder, she does not have the bye. She was injured for 2023 Budapest, right?
Yeah, correct. And Femke won that year.
Yeah, she was injured for that. She does not have the bye. So if she only competes in the 400 at USA Trials, that's the only event that she will be competing. She'll qualify.
Yeah.
In Tokyo. So I'm interested to see if she is only focusing on the 400. What can she do? I think the American record is right there, but can she go a step further?
Yeah. I'm so excited to see Sydney race. I think every time she steps on the track, I know I'm like, everybody has fun. I don't know if you've ever seen Sydney before she gets in the blocks. She makes me nervous. Like her intensity, like she's locked in, the little step back and like the girl's locked in, and that, like, I know having fun is scary. Being that locked in, the ability to lock in like that is also scary.
Yeah.
I think the American record will go down. It's just a matter of when will she take it down. Will it be at USA's? Will it be in Tokyo? Will it be a random meet in between those things? So not random.
USA's.
Diamond leagues matter, but will it be something in between that? USA's.
I think USA's.
What round? Finals, semis?
Finals.
Ooh.
Finals in the USA. It's on brand for Sydney. Last US Trials, what did she do? Break the world record in 50? Like, come on now.
It's what she does.
It's just it's interesting and kind of perplexing to me. Like, to have somebody as good as her, all-time great in an event, and then to deliberately opt to not do that, like she clearly they had different approaches, I think, like, with that group, like how they prioritize things and how they challenge themselves in different ways. To me, I'm like, well, you could probably win a 400 hurdle title with your eyes closed. You could give it less, not 100% and still do that. So like, why? I'm curious, like the mindset and the rationale, if that's indeed how it's going to pan out, that she would skip out. Like perhaps it would have to do with like, being able to put her full energy into the 400, but who knows?
They might have a goal in mind.
And also, like, if she doesn't do the 400 hurdles, that means another spot opens up for maybe someone who wasn't going to bank on making a world team, which could be neat. We always like to see that.
I'm excited. That'll be fun to watch for sure, because we'll go into USA preview another time. We'll do that next episode. So I'm not going to go into it. But to your point, I think it opens up a wide variety of things. But I'm excited for Sydney. I think she's a dog. No, I think the girl's a dog. Like, she's a beast. She challenges herself, and she wants the record. I mean, I don't know if she'll come out and just plain out say it, but she wants to win. She wants to run certain times. When she ran at pre, she wasn't satisfied.
Not at all.
And that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Now I want to go into London Diamond League. We got to be there. You got to commentate all the things, but we're going to start off with Miss Julian Alfred. She went 21.71 into a headwind, might I add. A world lead, PB, national record, meet record, any type of record, she got it with this 21.71, and she kind of did it with ease. Yeah, I think it's insane. I think she's an Olympic champ for a reason. She's doing what Olympic champs do. She's had one loss this entire year, but she is on a streak, and her country doesn't have trials, so she'll definitely be in Tokyo, but her momentum is amazing right now.
Yeah, I think I looked at that race, and the first thing I thought about was actually when she got the silver medal in Paris. Those were two different types of races. It's easy to see the differences, right? You think about, before we even talk about London, let's talk about Paris in August. She got out decently, kind of faded in the back in the transition between the curve and the straightaway. And in my opinion, that's where medals are won in the 200. And she had to make up ground and then settle for second. She ran 22.08. And funny enough, in the same type of headwind to what she did in London. It was
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. So this time it was a different type of race. She got out amazingly. Her transition from the curve to the straightaway was flawless. She executed it perfectly, and then she even slowed down a bit before the line, running 21.71, which is, again, PB national record. And, if she had this level of fitness and endurance, because that seems to be one of the biggest differences between now and then, we might be singing a different tune about who was the Paris champion. Because at that point, that was probably her sixth race of the games, considering all the rounds of the 100 and all the rounds of the 200. So fatigue plays a factor, and understandably so, especially at that level. But this time around, you can see where those 400s and 300s that Coach Flo had her in is really starting to pay off, because not only did she won convincingly, and I actually think that's probably the most dominant 200 we've seen, period, of women this season. And then the margin of victory on top of that. So like that 22.08 in Paris versus the 21.71 that we saw in London at this time of year, it has to put the world on notice, and you have to think about her as like a legitimate contender to get not only the 100 win, but maybe even that double at World Championships come Tokyo. So it's really exciting, and it's a super layered story, because even if we bring in Gabby Thomas, that's, you think 200, you can't not bring up Gabby's name. It feels like the second coming of like the rivalry of like Allison Felix and Veronica Campbell-Brown.
Yeah.
And it's something that is so hard not to get excited about. So I'll stop.
Yeah, no, I am looking forward to after USA's when we have who's going to Tokyo, because I think, like, to your point, like, it can be not anybody, but there's a lot of names to bring to the conversation, and their season looks very different than what it did in Paris. And I'm so excited we aren't talking about it today, but when it comes out with who's going to Tokyo, yeah,
it's been on my mind a lot. And again, a topic for another day. It's like, are the favorites from maybe last year going to be the same favorites this year? I don't necessarily think so in some cases. Like, there's going to be some switching up. There's going to be some people making teams, people winning things that didn't win last year. And I love kind of how these different trajectories are going. It's going to be so interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait. I also forgot that she was running 400s. I don't know how I forgot.
Yeah, running so far.
But it shows.
4x4 at Texas Relays, those 300s indoor season, which she also has the national record for St. Lucia. And you know, the proof is in the pudding within her stride pattern, even within her confidence. Like, I wish we had like rights to the footage to just put out there. But if anyone's watching, I really encourage you guys to watch like from top to finish, from when she comes out of the tunnel to the end of her race in the Paris Games versus that London Diamond League race that you can also see on FloTrack YouTube from this past weekend. The demeanor is even different from what before the starters all like runners to your mark. It's a different athlete.
Oh, I'm about to, as soon as this is done, as soon as I get out this seat, I'm going to go watch the comparison.
Yes. I mean, side by side, put them side by side.
Okay. No, I'm going to do it at work. All right. On the clock. Next one, we have to talk about Miss Gudov Seaguy, number 2 all time. She posted the second fastest mile in the world, 4:11:80. That's 89, 88, 4:11, whatever it was. That's what she ran. I love watching her race. I think it was fun to see. There was a lot of meet records that went down in London. This is just one of, not many, but one of a few.
Well, let's not forget American record while we're at it.
Yeah, we had Sinclair Johnson, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. We have Sinclair Johnson. Also ran really fast. She after she came on the Athletes Lounge, she was like, I'm like, hey, like, can you hop on the Athletes Lounge? Like, talk to me back in Austin. And she was like, did I get the record? And I'm like, oh my God, let's check. So we look, she ran 4:16:32 to break the American record. Nikki Hiltz previously had it at 4:16:35. So by 0.03. So Sinclair was like, oh, I like barely got it by like the skin.
A record is a record.
I'm like, congratulations. Who cares about barely? You have it. Your name's on it. Yeah. Congratulations. You got to talk to her though.
Yes. She's so sweet. But yeah, we asked her, was that the plan? She was like, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was definitely the plan. I think she knew she had it in her. And that was also a really fast race. You guys were there. You guys saw like the wave lights, and they were on, second all-time pace at that point. I think they were on like 4:10 pace. Yeah. So to come out with the 4:11 was something special. And, you know, Seaguy, again, she has that winning spirit. And I think it was only natural that she pulls other runners to national records and personal bests.
Yeah, rising tide.
Yeah. How did you guys feel being like on the ground seeing that?
60,000 people were getting into it. It was, that atmosphere is crazy. It felt like an Olympic level sort of meet. And then when you have somebody like her running, you know, record breaking times like that, it was the energy was you could feel it. It's palpable.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think
London Stadium.
I was gonna say London. It's the Olympic Stadium for a reason. Now, speaking of Olympians, Emmanuel Wignoni, 800 Olympic champ. He ran a meet record. He went 142 flat. Mm-hmm. He popped out on the scene. Won in Monaco against the Olympic podium. Won again in London. I mean, I don't know about y'all. I never doubted the man. I do root for Marco very often, but Emmanuel's proving he's the champ for a reason.
Yeah, there's less ambiguity here. He continues to assert himself. Sometimes you might think somebody like Marco might make a run for it, but it's just been dominance each and every time, which I think makes him a clear favorite, you know, going into world champs. But
I don't know about clear favorite. You know, we got a long season. I'm still let me keep watching Marco race. I'm rooting for he's not even an underdog. It's just like, I feel like he finally got competition when he started going against Emmanuel. Yeah. And I think to some extent it could be a tune because he got second overall, I'm pretty sure, in this race.
Yeah, and I think he was taking the lead with 100 to go. I think Emmanuel, you know, got him in the last 100. 800 is also fun because we have the Americans are back in the action. You know, with Bryce Hoppel, you know, running 142 for the first time this season, followed closely behind Donovan Brazier. He's back.
See Donovan back.
We love it. I didn't realize I was talking to Bryce after the race, and him and Donovan, I guess, are friends and have been training together at least at points in Flagstaff, which is pretty cool. American 800 meter running's knocking on the door, which is cool.
I love it.
The 800 was definitely really fun to watch. I think while Emmanuel is my favorite for Worlds, it wouldn't be far-fetched if Marco ran that race if he had a slightly different strategy. Mm-hmm. I didn't love how he got out in that race, and I think that cost him at the end. And he had to.
He got out.
Well, I mean, like he didn't get the cutoff. Like he's a big, tall guy. Emmanuel got out. Marco didn't the way he normally does. He was a little conservative in the first half of that race, in my opinion, and I think it cost him at the end.
It made me nervous.
Yeah, it cost him at the end. And it was just one of those things where it's like, dang, you could have got that one. That meet record, I feel like, was supposed to be Marco's if he had a different strategy. But again, for Emmanuel, true testament of a champion, another day, another meet record. And then again, to your point, the Americans, hey, man, what's up? And I'm excited to see what Donovan does in at trials because, again, he is also still young. He's only 28. And, yeah, I know the Achilles can be an annoying one to battle. But to come back in this fashion, it's not normal.
No.
It's not normal to come back and be competitive, especially with the growing amount of talent that's coming in, not only in the 800, but in track and field, period. Because we see how the NCAA kids get down. We see how the high schoolers get down. So to come back despite all of that and the talent pool just growing and being competitive at that world level and that world stage, that's special. That is so special.
I think his experience is going to lend itself well to the rounds and to having that experience of what it takes to make it to a world championship and be successful. It's not necessarily pure speed as well, and I think his wisdom is going to hopefully help him out.
Listen, man, experience sometimes trump talent.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of experience, we have Mclaughlin. He breaks records left and right, and he took another record down, meet record. He threw 71.70. I love watching this man compete. He's still on the collegiate circuit, so he's going back to college after this, which is so funny. Won pre, won London. He's just winning these big meets. Hopefully he gets that NCAA title sometime soon. But yeah, I feel like we can't mention all these meet records and not mention Alekna dominating in discus.
Are we surprised?
No.
Yeah. Because he came into this as the world leader. He came into this being dominant. And to your point, it's just kind of the writing was on the wall.
Yeah. My only surprise is, I said this before in the preview show, something about NCAA outdoors, it doesn't work out for him. He literally has he throws really far all the time, but he always has a bad day in NCAAs. But I guess, does it really matter when you go on the pro circuit and you win still? Maybe not.
Maybe not, but
I was surprised to see. I think this was last week that I Show Speed, I think, met up with him.
With Alekna?
Yeah. Did you not see that?
I saw something about I Show Speed talking about the discus. I didn't know it was Alekna.
I'm almost certain it was. I have to double check on it, but I think it was last week.
To do what?
What did he say?
He literally just watched him huck it, and he just literally at practice and watched him huck it into the sky, and it was unexpected. I thought maybe he was strictly interested in the sprints, but no, he pulled up.
Oh, well.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah, I guess speed is for the track culture. I love it.
Shout out to Speed.
Thanks, Speed. Now, speaking of sprints and Speed's nature, he never ducks the smoke from men's 100. But we had Noah Lyles, Letsile Tebogo, and then Oblique Seville. Oblique came out with the win, 986. Noah Lyles season opener, 10 flats, and then Letsile. I have to just mention Letsile because he's in the photo, but he finished 7th overall, 10-12. Yeah. Spoke to Noah. He's happy to be healthy. To open like that with 10 flat. Of course, I'm sure he wanted to win, but he's healthy, and he's the Olympic champ for a reason. So I don't think he's too nervous. But Oblique, he looked good.
Yeah, man. I have so many thoughts. I'll start with Noah. 10 flat's a very solid opener for the 100. Very, very solid opener, especially not running 100 all year. Yeah, very solid. And I think whenever Noah loses, there is a light that is fired in his belly and under his butt, and it's going to be scary for the next 100 he runs. I don't think he's going to go slower than 10 flat for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
Maybe prelims if he decides to run trials. I mean, he doesn't have to, but just to get some races under his belt, I do think he needs some races prior to Worlds. But, I do think he's a true competitor, and he does not like to lose. And I think the fact that he kind of has that, all right, solid opener, but that's not happening again, that look scares me because it's very similar to last year's Racers Grand Prix. It was kind of an identical race where Seville beat him, and then he was kind of like, that's not going to happen again, and kind of so said, so done. Now, on to Seville. I do think he's a different type of runner this year. You guys know how I feel about Team Jamaica. But if Oblique Seville can deliver like this in the World Championships in Tokyo, this may be the year that he finally gets that world medal. I think that's something that is missing on his resume that makes people kind of lose credibility in a sense. He's very talented. He's very gifted. He has natural ability, and it's very clear that he works hard. But there's that little speck in his resume that makes people think, is he someone that I'm going to consider a great? I think this is his year to do it. And he has been showing through his races and through like certain rounds that it's going to happen. I do have him medaling this year.
We're going to get into medal picks, not today, though.
Okay.
Because I refuse for y'all to cook me in the comments for being a true Baylor Bear for Trayvon Burnell. But what's up, Johnny?
Noah was on the Athletes Lounge. He said the triple's still alive. So
Yeah.
what do you think? You think it's in the cards?
It's not impossible, but I don't have him winning the World Championships this year, no. Not for the one. Not for the one.
Well, I do, because as we learned in London when you were talking to him, he's a viewer of the Athletes Lounge.
He is.
Not the Athletes Lounge, the meetup. So
I don't know if you could watch the Athletes Lounge. He's actively racing.
Yeah, true.
That'd be impressive.
But it's not impossible that he wins.
Yeah.
I just don't have him winning this year.
Yeah, I'm not a Noah doubter. I learned my lesson. Not that I ever doubt somebody's ability, but like if I have to predict who's going to win, I feel like that's a slight doubter. Ever since Paris, I was like, oh, I'm a believer now.
Yeah,
Like Paris is where I was like, okay, my bad. I'm not gonna do that again.
Like, I don't say this about a lot of people, but I would say Noah's a coach's dream. You know, there's a lot of times where you have to talk an athlete off the ledge prior to coming to a race. But for him, he's excited. And it's like any anxiety he has is because he's antsy to get on the line, not because he's scared of his competitors. And that is rare. You don't find that often. And the thing is, I think he's still, people love to call him cocky and showboaty or whatever the case may be, but he still knows how to acknowledge the talent around him. He just makes sure that he matches that and supersedes that just by the work he puts in and the way that he runs. So again, he's one of those people where even if you don't pick him, you can't be surprised if he beats your pick. You can't be surprised if he wins because he's going to find a way to do it, whether it's like the Olympics, out-leaning Kashane or whatever the case may be. He doesn't even have to run a perfect race to win. He just knows how to win.
Yeah.
So
knowing how to win is dangerous.
Very. A lot of people don't know how to do it, have all the talent in the world, but can't get it done.
Literally. Yeah. That's why I was like, I'm not down on this man again. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, no, being a Noah doubter is crazy.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you feel about him, his takes, whatever, doubting his abilities and how he's able to show up is ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that pair, I watched the race. I said, that made me shut up. Yeah. Never again.
Man, I know exactly where I was when I was watching that. That's one of those moments. You know exactly where you were when you were seeing that.
For sure. Now, I want to go in because we have some cool workout Wednesdays coming up. I'll go in the order that they're going to come out. So tomorrow, actually, we went to, I forgot.
Carano di San Marco.
That's where
Hey, come on,
Mamma mia.
pronunciation.
we went there with Deodora and Marco Lange to shoot a workout Wednesday. It's coming out literally tomorrow. It's a fun one, so make sure you tune in. Do you have anything to add? I feel like it's straight to the point.
No, that was sick. Deodora was a new one. Like it was cool to see their HQ. It was a quaint little Italian town about an hour outside of Venice. I really enjoyed that we got to I thought it was interesting. We walked the factory floor with them. We got a tour from the CEO. Like they iterate on these shoes like on the ground. So like Marco's able to like give feedback and they literally crank out like a new shoe for him in person, which was really neat. And Marco's such an he's a fun guy. I really just enjoyed getting to know him. And yeah, the workout, apparently the video's shaping up pretty nicely. So I'm excited for it to release.
Yeah, it should be fun. I love Marco, especially his story.
Did you get those sneakers from Deodora?
Oh, I'm glad you noticed. Yeah,
You got them from Italy?
These are fresh from Italy. Yeah, the blues.
Well, technically, I carried in my suitcase because we had some weight struggles. Spaces in our suitcase. I had a little extra weight.
Yeah, so I didn't check a bag, and
You didn't check a bag.
I checked 2 bags.
And thank God I didn't. Yeah, Dimitri I think had 4 bags all told. Thing is, if I had checked a bag, it would have been lost literally every leg of that trip. There was like stuff that happened every step. So I stand by that. But Dimitri really helped me out because I did not have the space to spare, and I'm glad he's made it back.
I'm kidding.
You should have flew Delta.
Yeah.
Should have flew Delta.
Yeah,
telling you.
I don't know.
It's superior. Now, Nia, this one I'm kind of wish I could have went, but you went to the Star Athletics Group Workout Wednesday coming out, I believe next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me. How was it? What can we expect?
You can expect to feel some chills. They have like they foster this very special environment where it's family, it's laughs, it's fun until they get into the line. There's almost like this race-like cadence in their group that kind of makes everyone kind of quiet at the start, like that type of energy. And
For those who don't know, who's part of Star Athletics?
a lot of people. So a lot of stars, no pun intended. So you obviously have Sha'Carri Richardson. You have T.T. Terry, Melissa Jefferson Wooden, Tania Marshall. You got Kenny Bernard. You got Kyrie King. You got Brandon Hicklin. You got Aaron Brown. Like, it's a good amount of them. And they're obviously trained by the legendary Dennis Mitchell, who was a great athlete in his own right and obviously a really great coach. He's also responsible for, like, Justin Gatlin. So he is really, like, he's really good at what he does. And, you know, prior to starting to film, he talked to me a little bit. He said something that's really important with this group that I really emphasize is just, it's an individual sport, yes, but I want us to be a team, feel like a team. Yes, when you get on the line, it's you and that's it. You cross the line and whatever happens, happens. But the team environment that they have for one another is very much so there. It's very much so present. They're cheering each other on throughout their reps. They can be dead tired on the floor, but they're going to find that last breath and last wind to be like, woo, come on. And you can feel it. It's not just something that they do because it's like obligatory of some sort. They do it because they want to. They do it because they're family, and they do it because they're a team. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one, and you're going to see it all from start to finish. It was very long and hot. Hot.
That's Florida
day.
for you.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I can't wait to watch all the Workout Wednesdays. We're not the ones who edit it, so we'll see when y'all see it. But it's going to be a fun time for sure because it was fun on the ground. Now, we're about to do this new segment. So we're going to look at, I'm not going to say there's spicy comments. We're going to say track and field hot takes. But we scoured the internet and found some things in track and field that we need to talk about. So this first one is a Grand Slam track TikTok. They posted this video of Gabby Thomas. She was cute. She was running, doing what she does best. And she commented, "So dope. Please pay me," with a crying face emoji.
That's iconic. That's like, I feel like that's already immortalized itself. So dope. Please pay me.
Yeah.
I find myself saying that for random reasons. I love it. It's like, it's tough. It's trouble in paradise, maybe.
Yeah, I think one, for her to comment that on the page is like, it's funny to us, but like, nah, y'all should probably pay her. Because we've all heard like the articles, and I don't know if you want to call it rumors, but we all have heard the things that the athletes haven't got paid yet. My 1 2 cents, bear with me. Athletes historically get paid on a slow basis. I'm not saying that they should, because they shouldn't, but I'm an agent and also date an athlete. They get paid so slow. Tripp hasn't got paid. Tripp medaled at Worlds in Nanjing. He hasn't got paid yet.
Wait, for real?
They're waiting on drug tests.
Wow.
Like, from everybody. I don't know if it's just the event, but like they're waiting on drug tests.
But he's been drug tested prior to.
No, he has, but like I think they wait for like everybody's to come through.
Oh.
But I like, what's shocking is like, you would think it's not like a world record went down. Like, no, like historically, like these big meets like Diamond League, like Worlds, like World Athletics, like these federations take a long time to pay athletes on a regular basis. So I know they should pay that girl. I don't know what was in her contract. You missing what, 400K, 300K?
I will say, I think it's probably good they do their due diligence. I don't know if it's the case with Grand Slam. It's probably a different thing, but, we don't have another Chep and Getich situation. You got to make sure those tests clear before the check goes out.
But people got to pay rent. So I'm like, I need to pay my rent. I have bills to pay.
And the landlord's not going to be like, oh, okay, we'll just wait till your drug test is back and we'll wait till that clears. But you're good. I don't know anybody who's going to, you know. But it's hard because I think it's a balancing act where maybe there's some truth to some of the rumors that are out there right now, but then also, to your point, historically athletes it's taken a while for them to get paid, but they're probably just Grand Slams being zeroed in right now because of everything that's going on, and then the financial rumors and things of that nature. So it's being emphasized maybe a bit unfairly. But again, if Gabby is commenting these things, so there's trouble in paradise.
Absolutely.
And maybe she was told something and then something didn't happen. So I don't know. I think you can take it as you must. Take it as you will.
Yes. All right. Time for this next comment. So this was under a YouTube video.
Yeah. I think that's one of ours.
Yes. Julian Alfred, right before she lines up, it says, "Julian will win the world championship in both the 100 and 200. Bearing injury, mark these words. I don't see anyone else close to her this year at all. It is her time to reign." I agree.
Yeah.
I talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, 1 and 2, I will say, like, I do expect kind of like a lean at the line for the 1.
Yeah.
Because I think we have some people like Melissa Jefferson Wooden, like maybe Sha'Carri gets
Right.
back healthy, back to where she's at. But I think there's a world where like we can see some competition. Like, I don't think it's gonna be walking apart, but I don't think that's crazy for her to get the 1 and 2 title.
Not at all. Not at all. I think that's a fair take. I think the only thing I may disagree with is the not even close. Not even close is where I'm kind of like, you know, there's a lot of talented athletes out there, because to your point, there might be a lean at the line, or there may need to be like where everyone needs to run through the line. There will be like the margin of victory is not going to be so much where we can afford to slow down at the line.
Yeah.
Maybe the 2, I don't know, because again, you can't count out Gabby. And then there's a lot of other people, like, I mean, you got the reigning world champion, Shericka Jackson is still in the mix, you know? So I don't know if it, but we haven't seen what she's been doing. But I mean, yeah, close is kind of losing me.
Wait, you don't think it'll be close?
I don't think it's going to be, like, the part of his sentence was, it's not even close.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, that's
what I was like. I think it's gonna be close, but like I think she could do it.
But the double is not far fetched. I think she gets a double.
Yeah.
So
no, I see. Yeah.
But the not even close is kind of like, it's gonna be an exciting race. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, let's go to this next comment. This is from Nice Kicks.
Okay.
Little baby throwback. Noah Lyles, rumor has it, he said that I want my own trainer. Dead serious. I want a sneaker. There ain't no money in spikes. There's money in sneakers. He said this following his 2024 Olympic victory. Get this man a shoe deal. I don't think we've had any track sneakers yet.
Yeah, but
I would buy it.
I would. But I think, here's the thing.
Uh-oh. Hold on, Nia. Let me... Don't get us canceled.
No, I love track and field. I think the issue is before we even get into Noah, track and field is niche. It's very, very niche. It's hard to compare on the level of, like, you know what? Let's take one of his arguments when he talks about like Anthony Edwards, his Adidas counterpart. Yeah, I know Ant hasn't won an NBA championship and things of that nature. And if you line up individual accolades, it's lopsided in comparison to Noah Lyles. But Anthony Edwards plays a very mainstream sport. He's a very popular athlete. And I think there's a bit of a cheat code when it's a team sport already. I think that's what kind of makes, at least in the United States of America, a lot of people get interest and gain interest. And I think that's a big reason why track becomes not so niche when the Olympics rolls around, because now it's Team USA. Let's see what Team USA is going to do. Not just Gabby Thomas, not just Noah Lyles, not just the 4x1. What is Team USA going to do? And Team USA usually dominates. And I think that's why it's one of the most watched events in the Olympics. But then the other 3 years, it becomes like obsolete. So I think there's that. So it's like, how do you bring track and field into mainstream media for people outside of track and field to care, for us to now buy your shoe? If we want to market your shoe, how can we buy it? Because I would argue that Nike can make a Sha'Carri shoe. She has blown up in mainstream media. She's able to walk down the street and she's immediately recognizable, and people want a picture and people want whatever, feel how you feel. But I think she can have a shoe in that sense. I think Noah can have a shoe, but it's how does he really go get into mainstream media besides asking NBA players at the World Championships of what?
Yeah.
So I think there was an interesting point in London, and I think you're exactly nail on the head. People have to care in order to sell shoes, and unfortunately, the issue is that hasn't always been the case. It's tough to make the average person care, and I think a lot of that boils down to storytelling. And so I was really interested to hear from Noah. He talked like for a long time this past weekend in London during the press conference about some initiatives he's taking, partnering with the studio that made Sprint to start his own production company. I think that's maybe the path to making people generate more interest in the non-Olympic years. And so I'm really excited to see. It's not going to be just focusing on him. I think it's aiming to bring really elevated storytelling to track athletes, and so I commend him for that. I think that's a brilliant play, because I think when you can present things to people, then they'll take note. And so I'm excited about that. He's started up his own little production company in partnership with Box to Box, which made Sprint. So
yeah, that's why I could never hate him. He's trying to grow the sport, and he's actively doing it, not just running fast times, but speaking out, even if some people doesn't like what he says. You know, doing these things, these ventures outside of track, thinking about life beyond track and how he can contribute to those coming after him. A shoe would be nice, but there has to be a way to, I think we're mismarketing a bit. If there can be a way that, I don't know the answer, but to get track and field not as niche and then in turn Noah not so much, then I think he can get a shoe in a successful one with Adidas. It would be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. My 1-2 cents, because I agree with everything, is I feel like on the same shoe topic, Usain should have got a shoe. Like
Yeah,
Puma, in fact, he could still get a shoe. Like,
Yeah.
like to your point of main media, there's very few names that like, I call them household names. Like you could say it and everybody knows. Like no disrespect to nobody on track and field because I love track and field, but like Sydney, like a lot of these names aren't household. The only names that I think are current athletes right now that are true household names, go to a waiter in a restaurant and ask, are Sha'Carri Richardson and Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Sha'Carri's in song names. Like
Drake sang about her.
Like that's Kanye knows you. Like there's another level of like there's like, oh, you're good at track, oh, you won Olympics. No, you like we all know your name. And I think like when we can get athletes to that level, to your point, I don't know what actually I do have my thoughts on how to market this. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, but I think there's a lot of work to be done on the back end. And I think once we get to shoe selling, I think the sport will definitely be going in a good direction.
Because we have to like there has to be an understanding where it's almost like your resume is almost secondary to maybe your place and relevance within the mainstream media. And I think once you can secure that, then you can like do something special. Like for me, if I was Noah and I was able to blow up in mainstream media on like a Sha'Carri level, maybe a FloJo level, maybe a Usain Bolt level, I would go with Michael Jordan route. I'd put out a really cool Adidas shoe. I'd probably put out some like COVID 200s or something like that. I don't know. Cause like that was a mob.
But yeah, no, I'm with you.
COVID 200, some lean out 100. I don't know, like something that really, because he has moments.
And he has a good brand behind him too.
Yes,
like,
I put out
maybe
some
a little Yu-Gi-Oh partnership.
a Yu-Gi-Oh part. Like he has like the 3-peats from his last World Championships. He has some moments that really stick out in track and field. And I think that's how you highlight the moments, not like yelling at people to be like, I won this, I did that. But like highlight those moments, get to that level, put out the shoe. Now highlight those moments within those shoes while you have people's attention.
I completely agree. That's why we could go marketing strategy all day, but I think there's a way to market, and I think I think it's mismarketed, but I think there's a world, kind of like when Grant Holloway was like, I don't have a watch deal. He has one now, or he had one now after that. But I think there's a way that you can change how the audience perceives you, because at the end of the day, we're all storytellers in one way or another. And I think Noah's also a storyteller. He didn't just bring out that Yu-Gi-Oh card for fun. He did it because it brought a new audience to the sport. He's telling a story with that. So I'm excited. Let's go into this next comment. Nia, we're going to end up throwing this right back to you. But this one is about Oblique Seville. It says, Oblique Seville is naturally talented. As soon as he gets over his fears, he will be unstoppable. The kid was moving. And somebody commented back and said, y'all have been saying this for half a decade. Bruh, has no medal to show for it.
Listen, Dr. Hustle. That is not nice. But again, there's a bit of validity to it. He doesn't. I want him to beat the allegations that he doesn't show up, because he can. He has the talent. And he showed that, especially this season. He showed it at Jamaica Trials. He showed it this weekend in London. 9.8 is that's a lot, but I think the answer to that is just he has to medal. He has to. Like, I think same way, if again we talk about other sports, certain sports is like championship or bust. We could talk about OKC, for example, with the NBA championships. People were kind of saying they were too young, they're not ready, they don't have it. Can they come out the West? That was very much so championship or bust season for them, and they got the championship. I think even when you talk about the Celtics the year prior to, they have it all, but they always lose credibility because they're missing that one thing that really like puts you at the tip of the top when you're talking about all-time greats. And then we bring it back to track and field. We bring it back to Oblique Seville. He's representing a country where, again, they call it the sprint capital of the world. He has to live up to that, unfortunately, you know what I mean? So if he was running for the Netherlands and running these times, I don't know if people would be riding him as hard. But you're running for Jamaica, again, the sprint capital of the world, you have to medal. You have to live up to those standards.
So do you think, the comment said as soon as he gets over his fear, do you think it's fear?
I don't know what it is, but I do think whatever it was, maybe it came from a lack of confidence or something of the sort, but I just don't see that right now. I see a very confident man. So if he does what he's supposed to do, he will medal, and Dr. Hustle will be proven wrong.
All right, Dr. Hustle.
That's the name, right? Because my
That's
glasses
the ad name. The ad
Okay.
name is, I don't know. That's his. You know, you have
Okay.
your ad name, you have your name that shows.
Okay,
That's the
because
name
I think
that
I need to
shows.
update my contacts. And I couldn't see the screen all the way.
That's funny. All right, this last one. I'm sick. All right, we have Ray's take. Calling a spade, non-track runners are making racing more exciting than actual track runners. Make it stop, baby Jesus.
He ain't wrong.
I don't think he's wrong on that.
Who cared about discus before I show speed? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we care about discus. Like, time out. Sorry. We care about discus.
Nia's on a rampage right now. She said, "Yeah,
Don't cancel me.
all right, Miss Grand Slam."
But I mean,
I'm
like-
kidding. I'm joking.
I mean, like, outside of the track and field niche audience, who was thinking about discus, I should say.
No, I mean nobody, but like whatever path that takes, like it is cool. It's objectively cool, and it just needs that spotlight. I don't know that it's never been an athlete's main job to promote themselves or to be influencers. That really isn't the point. And they're playing catch up a little bit. And so if folks that do have that and that's their main thing, shine the spotlight, then I'm all for it. And yeah, it's like whatever it takes. I mean, it was the same with like China when Speed did that whole China thing. Like China's always been sick. People just didn't know about it. Like they haven't been the right outlet and right platform. And then as soon as that came out, there's all this interest in it. And so that's similar with track. Like I love that these spotlights are being shown and getting people interested in it. And if that's what it takes, then so be it.
He's acting as the bridge between the sport and like the mainstream audience.
Yeah.
Because there's a level of relatability there where it's like, oh, if he's able to do this, then maybe I can do this, and then brings more eyes to the sports and attention and people to the sports. Because I think track and field is kind of like this intimidating thing because you're seeing people do things with their bodies that you couldn't even think about doing, so you might stay away. Whereas, again, we talk about other mainstream sports. You can pick up a ball and dribble it. Not saying that you're going to be Kyrie Irving of any sort, but you can do it. There's accessibility to it. And there's accessibility to track, but I don't know. It's almost like I think sometimes we gatekeep it a bit, and that works to our detriment. And it shows within the money the sports makes and the eyes that it lacks. So I think when you have someone like I Show Speed, not only just racing people randomly, but picking up a discus or just showing interest or encouraging people to look at it, it's special because, again, if we even talk about discus specifically, they're intimidating big men and women. And you're like, okay, I'm not like 5'10" plus as a woman, or I'm not like 6 feet plus as a woman. I don't have this type of build. Maybe this is not for me. And he makes it very much so. Listen, there's something there where you can do it regardless. So there's like that comfortability to try it, or like just,
Yeah, I think there's this level that like I think the world as a whole is like, oh, I can run, like oh, I can throw, until like to his point, like until you go up against like a non-track runner, like shot put. Ryan Krauser said it that the people who like lift heavy, what are they called? Not weightlifters, but like
Strongman, bodybuilding.
strongman. Yes, the strongman. They saw Joe lift and they were like, he could easily, if he trained for like a week, he could win this whole thing. I think to his point, like when they get compared to regular people outside of their sport is when the respect is given. And I don't know how to fix it. I mean, I always have solutions to everything in track, but I think there's this world where like there is no like divide between amateurism in the sport and true professional, because anybody can, if you're fast enough, you could get it to them. You could be in high school, you could be in college, you could be professional, but what is a professional? Yeah. And I feel like it becomes this sense of like, well, I could go run on a track. It's like, well, no. So that's how I think I Show Speed shows up and puts track and field on the map, because it's like, oh, I Show Speed is fast. He's going to race Noah a lot. Like, there's that connection. But I think to everybody's points today, like get track and field a little more mainstream. And then maybe we can maybe track runners can make track exciting just by being track runners. But I think we have some time to.
The anticipation will be there. I think he makes track make sense to people. I think it doesn't make sense to a lot of people.
I think they need the context right now, which is a shame.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
They have, we know that like fast is fast, but I think they need the context.
That's what I'm saying. Guys, watch the sport. It's fun. We have a good time over here.
Yes.
It's fun, guys. Just watch it.
It's a good time. And speaking of watch it, I'm going to wrap up this show. I'm going to let everybody go to our YouTube to watch some track meets. We have everything from high school, because AAU's not high school. That's like under 8.
It's like, yeah, the
Kids,
babies up
We
until
got
high school.
AAU this weekend. We have high schools like Quincy Wilson. We have your favorite collegiate athletes, professional, you name it, we have it. So like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want us to talk about next week as we prep for USAs. But thank y'all for watching this episode of the Meetup by FloTrack. We will see y'all next Tuesday. Bye, y'all.